some kind of a context setting before going to the main context. So now here you are here, your current world with comfort zone. When you come out from your comfort zone, that's where you are going to create a new possibilities. That's where the what we call is a new world of possibilities. It is something like whenever there is some new innovation happens, it is something like giving wings to fly for a human. So let's understand this one of the very important aspect from a technology perspective. So here you have all the gadgets starting from electricity, air travel, video games, telephone, cars, radio, credit card, internet, everything. And here you have a adaption of 0 to 100%. So now at this juncture, we are talking about fourth industrial revolution, right? So just imagine if electricity was not there. I don't think so. We are going to modernize this way, the technology, the impact, everything, right? So now, if you observe carefully here, each thing, especially electricity, to reach 100% adoption, which took more than 100 years. But few things, if you see, internet, smart mobile, credit card, all this, it took less than probably 20, 30 years, not more than that, right? So that means world is rapidly moving. If you look at the fast, when you compare to early 1990, 10, 90, 20, now see that. Because of the disruption. So disruption is everywhere. Irrespective to the industry, whatever technology you speak, everywhere is a disruption. Now disruption is the new normal, what we call. So there are three dimensions of disruption. One is emerging technologies, as we have the huge impact with artificial intelligence, then robotics, you have drones, 3D printing, Internet of Things, where the majority of the economy of IoT is driven by sensors. And the other side of the story, if you look at the business model enablers, with the having computing power available, cloud services, and even API is the economy, crowdfunding, and open source, and freemium. Freemium, I'm not saying premium. So those are the two important dimensions. And the third is exponential adoption curves. So how quickly you can make your idea to reality, how quickly you can make your prototype, how quickly you can make your MVP. So these are the three dimensions broadly for the disruption. So outside world, if you look at, it is exponentially changing. Like if you look at in the picture, when somebody wants to take either photograph or a video from some long distance from a high, from especially aerial shots. Earlier, 10 years back, you need a chopper with a cameraman. But now we don't require anything except just a drone with attached camera. Just you fly with the remote, you can operate. That means essentially, if you look at here, now slowly going forward, this cameraman is going to lose his job and even pilot as well. Similarly, if you go to restaurant, when you order something, usually humans will come and the bartenders or the servers will serve you, right? How about reimagine experience when you order some food or a drink where robo is going to serve you? And this example is from Hyderabad. I'm not talking anywhere outside India. This is example is from Hyderabad. The restaurant is called Robo Kitchen. Whenever you order something, robots are going to serve you. That means slowly these bartenders and waiting tables has been replaced with robots. So I'm sure everybody know about this. The self-driving cars are autonomous cars. Maybe still it's not started in India, but in few states, US already it is started. And this is crazy. Always in a media, you need some anchor to represent some news, right? Whether it's a male or female. So China, they introduced AI anchor. So if you see, this is not a human, it's an AI enabled anchor. So that means slowly, even the news anchors are slowly replacing with AI anchors. Now just go back as you have majority of the people have their bank accounts. So whenever you have some problem with your transaction, you are going to talk to a customer care. Where earlier it used to go at least 6 to 8 minutes conversation, right? Where they used to ask some security questions, and you will be in a line, and then they will say, press one, press three, press two, blah blah. Now just reimagine that experience, that 6 to 8 minutes conversation with chatbot. It's came down to less than 1 minute. Just type your question, instantly you will get a response. Now just reimagine, whatever the flights we have, usually you will have pilots, right? So very soon you are going to have AI pilots where the humans are just kept for the backup purpose. And how about entering into a shop? So what are the products you want? Just buy it. When you're coming out, there is no need to stand in the queue, because there will be a cashier-less stores. If you are familiar with Amazon Go, you're able to understand what I'm speaking. So once you can get inside, pick what are the products with the technology, it will bill and it will be deducted automatically from your account. There is no need to stand in the queue. Similarly, now if you look at AI can detect more than 50 eye diseases. That means slowly AI is replacing ophthalmologist. When I say ophthalmologist, the person who treats for eye. And reimagine experience when you enter into a software company or some firm. How about interacting with a robo instead of a human? So that's what we have our first India's receptionist robot, Mitri. It's there in Bangalore. Now, ideally, what I'm trying to say, if you look at the outside world is exponentially changing. The world, what we live is called VUCA. We use CA. We as a volatile, you as a uncertainty, C as a complex, A as a ambiguous. So as I told you, disruption is everywhere, whether you talk about technology, whether you talk about economy, politics, irrespective of the industry, whatever. So let's quickly unfold the future. Next 9 years, how the world looks like. Just I'm going to play a video. Just focus on that video. Yeah. So how is that? Is it scary? Okay, just I'm trying to, give you the heads up how the future looks like in the next 10 years. Because when you're thinking about some startup ideas, obviously you should have always think about the future and you have to live in the future. So with the context, as I told you, the game is completely changing. So no more traditional things are happening, and even if you look at the traditional businesses are got hugely impacted with the exponential technologies, where the winners are embracing with the new mindsets and the new tool sets. So quickly, I want to quickly give you some of the examples how people are using technology for their businesses, and they're coming up with new business models. So this example is from Silicon Valley, a college called Lambda. So fundamentally, we always believe that for education, we need to pay certain amount as a tuition fee, right? Where Lambda has come up with a model where your education is absolutely free once you get into college. After that, once you got a job, you need to pay back 17% of your salary for the first 2 years back to the college. So they'll use a technology which can predict whether the guy is going to get a job or not when we give admission. So that is where they're using technology in a very clever way. Now, see, this is crazy. So we know always whenever we enter into a theater or a comedy club, we need to pay certain amount as an entry ticket, right? And these guys has come up with a model. It's called pay per laugh. So when you're watching that show, how many times you laugh, you need to pay for that. Each laugh will cost you 0.30 cents, that is 100 cents is equals to $1, and the maximum ticket will be $24. If you are not laughing, there is no need to pay. And on the right hand side, what you see here is seat number 1, 2, 3. These are the seat numbers. And seat number 1 had a 40 laughs for which you need to pay $12. Now, here these guys are extreme. They introduced it recently, pay per cry. Can you believe? For crying also you need to pay money. So the other example is from Amazon. I'm sure a lot of people has ordered already a lot of times using Amazon, right? So whenever you want to do some shopping in Amazon, you will get into the website, you will pick what are the products you want, and then you place order, then check out. After some days, you will get your parcel or what are the orders you item. So now what we are talking, shop then ship to ship then shop. That means Amazon has collected huge amount of data and they are able to predict and understand the buying behavior of a consumer. So without your knowledge, just imagine a box will come and pick what are the products you want, remaining leave it. It's a reverse logistics at a free of cost. So that's what shop then ship to ship then shop. So that's Amazon anticipatory shipping model. And just imagine Google is doing one project. How might we expand human life to 500 years? Yes, this is they are doing right now. So the project is comprises of 3 stages. Stage 1 is understanding the factors for human life, and stage 2 would be arresting the age. So when I say arresting, now let's say if I'm at 39, after 1 year also, my age would be 39. And stage 3 would be going back to the A's. So at execution level, they are done with the phase 1, which means they are able to understand the factors of human life. So now they are at phase 2. And this example is from again a Silicon Valley. His name is Abu Kader. He built a product which is going to detect breast cancer at a most early state. When you compare to the famous oncologists, this product is working pretty fine with a more accuracy. So we know always humans are good at expressions, right? So and the facial expressions can be detected by other humans always. So just try to note this word. It's called effectiva. So just whenever you have some time, just install this app in your mobile and just play around. So if you keep your camera in front of the cam and in a real time, if you give some expression, if you are happy, it is going to rate your emotion. If you are sad, it is going to rate your emotion. And how about having a tennis ball collector in the tennis court? Whenever the people are playing, there will be some boys and girls to collect the balls, right? Instead of that, this ball will automatically collect that balls. So this is what I'm talking about. Amazon Go is for US. Still, it's not started in India, but there is a one autonomous cashier-less store in India, which is called Vata Sale. And this is not from Mumbai, not from Chennai, not from Bangalore, not from Hyderabad. It is from Kochi. So it's not only India's first autonomous cashier-less store. Of course, it's for Asia's first autonomous cashier-less store. You just get into the shop, pick what are the products, and bill will be automatically deducted from your account. Then you are going to leave from the shop. No need to stand in the line. So disruptions are happening even outside India and even in India as well. So scalar drones is the one which essentially they started sometime back, drone-based pipeline inspection for various industries. Flux Auto is one of the self-driving big trucks or Easters. So it's already live now. They are testing. If you look at outside Bangalore, there are a lot of big, huge trucks without driver. It's already run. And this example is from again Bengaluru, Nirmai. It is a phone-based breast cancer detection tool, and they want to scale it for very nominal cost. Just imagine, maybe in a very soon you'll get one instrument for 2 or 3,000 K, sorry, 2,000, 3,000 Indian rupee, and using that you can detect whether the people is having a breast cancer or not. And this example is from Hyderabad. It's called Nemo Care. So usually born babies will have some breathing problems. That's in medical terminology, it's called apnea and hypothermia. When there is a no doctor or a nurse available, this product will detect and it gives alerts to the nearby doctor or nurse. So now if you look at all the examples what we spoke are completely out of box examples, right? So to make these kind of innovations, we need to rewire our mindset and we need to change the operating system in our head. Though we are using latest version of operating system in our system, but in the head, we are using still the old operating system. So how come a 18 years kid is trying to build a product to solve one of the world's biggest problem, right? Do they have a huge knowledge? Do they have a huge capital? Do they have a huge network? No, then what else? As I told you, the winners are embracing with the new mindsets. So in other words, what we call is mental habits or moonshot mental habits. Let's see what is that mental habits. So whenever you are trying to solve a problem, you need to adapt these new mindsets. So one is moonshots, what we call, that is think 10x times, not 10%. Let me give you one example. I'm sure people know about Arvind Eye Hospital. When they had an initial challenge, kept themselves to deal with, in the world, we have more than 30 million people who are blind. With a small kind of operations, they can get their eyes back. But essentially, if you look at for 30 million people, scaling 10 million ophthalmologists is not easy, right? So, and they drawn some inspiration from Xerox machine or STD booths. So if you look at the beauty of this Xerox machines or STD booths, within a span of time, anybody can learn and anybody can operate. So that's where they developed an instrument with a software powered and hardware powered, where anybody can be trained in 3 to 4 days, and after that they are going to perform the eye cataract operation. If you look at the old age lady, she is not ophthalmologist, but she is treating a patient. So this is where Arvind Eye Hospital is the highest operations, eye cataract operations, they used to do at a worldwide, not less than, and an average every year, they used to do close to 35 to 40 lakhs. So this is the meaning of think 10x times, not 10%. Now, second mindset we need to adapt is mistake as a tool. That means you do mistakes in the beginning as much as possible and going forward so that you can avoid it. In New Zealand, there is a museum of failure innovation. Once you get into the museum, you will see a lot of ideas. What is the problem they're trying to solve? Why it got failed? Like that, you will get all the answers for that. Then the third mindset is very important one. Curiosity for problem greater than passion for the technology. So in other words, it should be more business forward and technology backward. So whenever you are examining the problem, you need to adapt the childish energy. If you look at this energy levels of these kids, their energies are extreme. The curiosity, they are trying to see what is there outside that wall, right? So we need to adapt that energy levels when you're examining the problem. And four, always ask a right answer. Sorry, always ask a right question. If one of the simple question has not asked by a 4 years baby, today probably we never had this kind of Polaroid invention. That was the question asked by a 4 years girl, Dad, why do we have to wait for the picture? So if you remember, in those days, we used to have a camera and with 36 reels, 36 snaps in that reel. So once you are done with that and you need to remove that and we need to send it to lab. So this one question has led to the invention of Polaroid camera. So that's where we always used to say, you should always ask a right question so that it will remove fog for your problem statements. And this is one of the important extreme empathy, the mindset. So you have to always see the world through your customer eyes or user eyes or consumer eyes. So for which you are trying to build a product. You have to walk a few miles with them to understand the person, what is the person experiencing the pain. So when you are not able to understand the pain, what is the pain experienced by a person, you're never going to build a product in the right way. So that's why extreme empathy is a very important mindset we need to adapt. So altogether, when you have moonshots, mistakes, curiosity, and questions and empathy, then automatically you are going to nourish the roots and fruits will follow. So before going to the customer discovery, so we'll quickly start with the problem and then we'll move to immersion, then we'll move to friction. After that, directly we'll be jumping into the customer discovery because this is a very important thing whenever you're talking about business model, customer discovery, all that stuff. So nothing is a mistake. There is no one, no fail. There is only a make. The only way to do it is to do it. So problem, I'm sure you already addressed it and identified some problem which you're trying to solve. So it is very important that the problem serves as a guiding North Star for your journey. If you are not identified the right problem, so then obviously your journey is completely wrong, completely move into a wrong way. So it is very essential that you have to pick a right problem statement. A few of the problem statements, let me give you some examples. Now let's say there is some surgeon in the hospital. Before he get his patient into the in front of him or to the wall, when he's reaching the hospital, in a real time, can I get the basic vitals of the patient without touching him? In that way, you can prioritize the attention for the patients, right? And how about when you are entering into a car, you don't see a driver and you don't see a steering. Just imagine the driving experience. And what if you can upgrade a car without touching the car when you're trying to book a cab or when you're taking for self-driving cars or something? What if you can try glasses within your house? This one we already spoke. And what if your household gadgets sold itself without our knowledge? Just imagine the experience. Now let's say it is not useful for you in a day-to-day life, just you want to sell it and you'll be placing in someplace. And just reimagine the reselling experience. And how about whenever you have some problem with the asset, usually the technician will go there and fix it, right? Instead, how about that asset will come to the technician for the treatment? Just reimagine the new world and adapting all that mindsets, and just try to remember these five big things whenever you are framing a problem statements. Problem as seen through your customer eyes, painkiller, not a vitamin. It must be a painkiller, not a vitamin. And your problem statement should have measurable outcome. Your problem statement have a meaningful outcome, and it must be ultra specific. And I'm sure you already identified some problem statement. So just to iterate that, this exercise will be useful for you. So just take a pen and paper if you have handy, or pencil, anything would be fine. Just try to write down your problem statement in the next 10 minutes. You can ask me if you have any questions there while filling the form or something. So it's not mandate to fill everything, but at least try to answer, write it down. What is the problem to solve? Why am I building? How will I measure success? At least these three, because the same thing will be used in your business model while defining the value propositions and even for customer discovery and validation exercises. So this is very important. That's why again we are starting this. 5 minutes to go. Yeah, guys, are you done? Whoever completed, just type in the yes in the chat room so that at least I'll get to know that few of the people completed this exercise. That's good. Perfect. Good Mokshananda. Good Remya. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
See, any of the activity when you're trying to do, whether it's part of ideation process or prototyping exercises or business model validation, any activity you can just take 10 minutes min, max 20 minutes. More than that, you don't ever try, because after 20 minutes you will have a diversion. And when you are dealing with a big teams, make sure it's only, probably you can just keep it to 15 minutes, not even more than that. Okay, perfect. So now once you are done with the problem, the other important thing is immersion. So that means going outside your building or stepping into the world of a consumer. So it is very important that whenever you are trying to build a product or a solution, always it is very essential that you need to understand their pain. Until unless if you are not able to understand their pain, you are never going to decode the mental model of a consumer. Because if you see that image, that is called the feeling their pain, right? Now you can see that statement. I know exactly how you feel. So to get this level, you have to go and you have to step into the consumer life. Probably you need to walk a few miles with them to understand more and more. So that's why always we say you need to see the world through the eyes of your user, and just try to understand the patient's experience. Whenever a patient get into a hospital, when they are undergoing through with some diagnoses and a surgery, So in that rituals, if you look at, you need to understand that pain, right? And how about having immersion with the student experience? When students are preparing for the examinations, how about their mental condition? How about their stress levels? And how about understanding the pilot experience in a cockpit? So if you have ever interacted with any of the consumer, it's fine, or else just keep this in mind. So four big things to remember: if you don't experience it, you don't design it. Simple. Spend a day in the life of the person you are designing product for. Walk a mile in their shoes. 3 to 5 customer immersions is optimal. A minimum 3 customer immersions you have to do. Of course, now it's a pandemic. Now, at least it's not in person, maybe through Skype or virtual through Zoom calls or something, you have to interact with them. So in the past, if you have ever met with any of the customers, if you have done any immersion with any customer, maybe just try to fill this form or just make a note of this. Now let's say you are dealing with some of the healthcare. How might see through the eyes of a patient in healthcare industry experiencing journey to what is that job? Probably undergoing the surgery with a smooth process to impact dash. What is that outcome? Maybe a smoother process or simplified process. So feeling their pain activity. What is that they're experiencing? When? Where? Maybe additional notes you can write it down. Just probably make a note of the worksheet, because these things you never get a standard template or something. This is my experience, in the past when I was speaking with the customers. We did a lot of ideations internally. Now, as we are working closely with the Olympics team, and we used to immerse with a lot of coaches due to this pandemic. Now we are interacting virtually. So often we used to speak to the franchisee owners, the coaches, or the physiotherapists. So else you can't understand that person, and it's again differ from a persona to other persona. Done? Noted? Perfect. So when you interact with any of the customer, then this template will be very useful. So just you have to start filling this, because everything, whenever you have some interaction with the consumers or users, make a habit of documenting it, everything. You have to make documents. Somewhere you have to record all that conversations. Now, let's move to friction. So there is some resistance to getting a job done. Now, for example, sorry, the frictions are the opportunities. In other words, you can say this would be, if you convert this as opportunity, this will become your value proposition for your solution or a product. Now, let's say you're trying to book a cab or trying to book a ticket. When internet goes off or probably the website problem, then automatically you'll get that frustration, right? So then you will think of going for the alternative. Now let's say I'm trying to book a ticket in a Make My Trip. When there is some problem with the website, then automatically that would be a friction point. Then immediately I think of the other alternative, whether I could go with yatra.com or something, or can I book ticket through Paytm. Now, whenever you have some product, let's say in Reliance Digital, you got one particular product and that is available. But when you ask for a person to buy, then they said this is not available in the store, and they are saying somewhere 30 kilometers from your current location. Then obviously you don't buy it, right? Now, when you're trying to book a cab, where your Uber cab is not giving you the approximate exact location of your, it is not able to detect. So that is might be some kind of a friction. And when you're buying something, now let's say there is some payment gateway problem, might be that is also one friction, right? Now, how about when you're trying to take a t-shirt where you cannot get your size, and whatever the prescription given by the doctor, the medicines are too expensive, then automatically you'll go for generic one, though it's not suggested. So ideally in this exercise, what you're trying to do is you're trying to map the gaps. So if you look at a lot of things are broken in our life, especially specific to that problem statement, if you are able to identify what is that broken, then you are able to map the gaps. So motivations for the frictions, four big things to remember. Trigger, what is the specific event trigger for the journey? Outcome, what is the one meaningful measurable metric? MOT, what are the top three key moments of truth in the journey? Friction, what are the top three friction points? Just take 10 minutes, write down top three friction points you experienced or you know related to your product. At least three. So just type yes in the chat room if you are done. Oh, perfect. Excellent. Mokshanandra, Kaviya, Ramya, Vantana, Guru. Excellent. Very good. I think you guys are pretty familiar with the business model. Hope no need to cover this.
Oh, yes, sir. Already over.
Okay, perfect. But you have to iterate your business model with the customers as this is what as part of the customer discovery and validation. That is where you are going to validate your assumptions, right? So that's what you need to validate your model assumptions with your customers. That is what we are going to do as part of all these exercises. And this would be one quick example for a Skype. Maybe if you just want to take a photo of this, you can. This is for Gillette. So when you're writing, when you're building your business model, you should go at least 4 or 5 different models and then start iterating. Then you are going to pick only one at the end. So you have to iterate as much as. So let's move to the next level now. Give me a moment. Yes, it got. Now, if you look at the customer development process is comprises of 4 stages. So where you will have the customer discovery first, and then you will have customer validation, and then you will have customer creation, then company building. So we'll be focusing more on these 2 phases, which is customer discovery and validation. So the customer discovery is all about questioning your core business assumptions. So as the customer discovery phase 1, it starts with Phase one is state your hypothesis, that is more assumptions, and phase two would be test your hypothesis, and three, test product concept, and four would be you are verifying all the interactions and assumptions. Now let's start with the first one, which is state your hypothesis. So hypothesis is why this is important. Documenting these assumptions is both practical and psychological. Having something in writing means that you can avoid the pitfall of mentally justifying your hypothesis between or during the conversation with customers. So the step one activity would be do it as a team. Do not delegate the work of writing the briefs. Sit down as a team and ensure that what you documented reflects a shared understanding of the issues you aim to test. The benefit of making this as a group effort is a twofold. First one, with the possibility being your first team building exercise, those involved will feel a joint ownership of some of the most fundamental ideas that underpin your business. And the second, since the onward journey might lead to discoveries that will require you to change your initial hypothesis, having a starting point that reflect the entire team opinions will make it easier for the team to understand what changes are necessary. So that would be your step one. While writing your assumptions, you have to be as a team and then make it testable. When creating the briefs, include all the essential information you believe to be true about the different hypotheses you are about to test, and be specific as possible. Questions usually, questions, you question your assumptions carefully and determine the right questions to ask. Accuracy is the key to arrive at information that will be most use of you. And as I told you earlier, so the step three would be do it quickly. Time is perhaps the most important competitive factor for a startup. So the underlying goal for an early stage startup is to get a product to paying customer as quickly as possible. So that means you're the guinea pig. Getting a guinea pig is too you to take not much time. Now you have to write down your most important business assumptions for the following. So product concept, customers and the problems, distribution and pricing, demand creation, market type, and competition. So take quickly a 10 minutes, write down your assumptions. So maybe let me give you one example. When you're writing the assumptions, it's better to frame statements like this. My idea solves, or my idea is capable to do, insert your problem by insert your solution. So if you look at the assumptions, see here, my idea solves people's need to do laundry by offering a laundry deliverable service. And see the second one, the same idea in other way. My idea solves the inconvenience and large time commitment of managing clean laundry by offering a 24-hour convenient laundry delivery service. If you look at which is good one, that's why you should write down more assumptions as much as. So take quick 10 minutes, write down the assumptions for the product concept, customers and problem, distribution and pricing, demand creation, market type, and competition. At least focus on, at this point of, just focus on customers, problems, product, at least that three. Take a 10 minutes.
Hello guys, please fill the worksheet. So Sir will be coming in another 2 minutes.
So just type yes if you're done. It'll take at least another 3 minutes. So we'll wait for another 3 minutes. Perfect. Excellent. Good Mokshananda. Good Ramya. Good Raji. Excellent. So that's where this exercises you have to do multiple times, not one time. Well, good Guru. Good Kavya. Kavya, sorry. Now the step two would be the phase two in the customer discovery would be testing your hypothesis. So once you have developed your product and market hypothesis, so you are ready to start testing them with the potential customers. So when you say market analysis, you have to thoroughly do the market analysis. So broadly, there will be three types of markets. Total addressable market, in which in the big circle, what is that served available market? You have to find out. And then serviceable obtainable market. So one market you already identified the served available market. The second would be serviceable optimal market. So typically, if you see in this phase where essentially you are going to do outside the building, that means you're going to the customer world. So here the step one would be tap your network, then prepare your problem presentation. So in the previous step, somewhere when we are beginning, we written the problem statement, right? So when you're interacting with the customers, so based on the problem statements, you are going to refine your problem statement, and you are going to get some insights when you're interacting with the customers, and then you have to map the market infrastructure. So as the first step in this phase would be tapping your network. Begin by tapping your network, friends, former colleagues, investors, in the industry specialist. So what you need to do is you need to build a list of potential customers. So at least make some 30 to 50 names in the list. Potentially, you can just have a list. And at this point of time, do not to be concerned about the position and rank your contacts. You just start picking one by one and start interacting with the persons. So as specifically there is no guide rails or a specific template or something. So based on your problem statement, just pick up 5 to minimum 5, maximum 10 questions, not more than that. If you ask more questions, people won't give you the perfect answers. So make it as much as simple and short. Then the second, as you need to prepare your problem statement. So always the problem presentation is very essential and important. So based on your hypothesis about the customers and their problems as created in the phase one of the customer discovery process, the purpose of this presentation is not to sell. This must be made explicitly clear. The point is to solicit feedback from your contacts regarding the severity of their problems in terms of the cost, efficiency loss, or performance loss. Keep an open mind in this all the situations when you are interacting with your consumers or users. You will encounter problems, priorities that you had not anticipated. Remember that your goal is not to persuadable others of your convictions, but rather to learn. So obtaining information that differs from your view is a positive. Then the step three would be getting insights. Always insights describes the motivations behind the human behavior. Now let's say whether somebody, when you are offering this product, you are able to decode the mental model. The mental model is nothing but somebody's thought process. So you need to ask three whys. Why? So that's where you need to collect insights from the customers. While interviewing with the customer, you are going to ask randomly a lot of questions, right? So that's where you'll get a lot of insights. And then the next would be map the market infrastructure. Engage the industry analyst, and probably you can attend the trade shows, the exhibitions, all that stuff to gain a better understanding of the environment. Consider who your competitors might be, who has influence and power in the space. Talk to them. Which companies are likely to buy if your market is B2C specifically. As you start exposing your hypotheses to potential customers, you will quickly learn facts which require you to modify your hypothesis. Now, once you are done with that, now you need to, the phase three, test your product concept. So typically, if you break down the activities while testing your product concept, it would be evaluate and update problem and solution fit. So it's all at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is the market fit. So simultaneously, when you are interacting with the persons, you're going to get a lot of insights. Accordingly, you will update your product presentation as well and test, revise your problem and product solution. So you'll have a different, while testing your product concept, you will have a different customer and different market. If your initial idea seems a poor fit for the customers, you have identified a difficult decision must be made. Is your product concept close enough so that minor changes will make it great fit for this market? Or are the required changes so fundamental that you would prefer to search a different market? Is your product is partial fit for the customer problems? The answer might be to reconsider certain product features. Once you have made this decision, you will need to create a new product presentation that reflects your changes, right? Then minimum viable product. At this point of time, the customer discovery process, you also need to consider your MVP, which is minimum viable product, for which you believe you can start charging. Maybe in sometimes you need to offer it free of cost as well to get more insights. Instead of by saying premium, you should offer it as a freemium. The minimum viable idea is key for early stage business, as timings as well, time spent are essential elements to start up for a success. And when you are testing this, at least you should see for 3 different customers who are willing to pay. Because usually the entrepreneurs should not invest in developing product features without knowing that someone is willing to pay for them. So the check would be 3 customers. You have to gain at least 3 customers. That means 3 different checks. Simple. Then you are ready to build the product. Until that, no point of thinking of and building the product entirely and taking the risk without knowing which customer is going to buy. This is the reason why majority of the startups are getting failed. Though the idea is great, the problem they're trying to solve is excellent, but still, this is the check where you need to look for at least 3 customers who are willing to pay. Then you should go for scale your product. Now, the 4th phase is evaluating the customer feedback, which is the final phase of the customer discovery process. Its purpose is to weigh the information you obtain earlier in all 3 phases from the potential customers regarding your target market and product solution. Consider whether you are ready to proceed with the current plans. If or not, the alternatives are either to conduct another iteration of the problem solution validation or to halt your plans before you decide whether or not to move ahead. You need to answer the following critical questions. Has the customer problem been verified? That is the first question. 2, has the product solution been verified? 3, has the business model been verified? These 3 are very essential. Let me repeat again. The question number 1 would be, has the customer problem been verified? 2, has the product solution been verified? 3, has the business model been verified? So verifying the customer problem, condense all the information you have obtained during your conversation with potential customers and other stakeholders in the market. Have you been able to verify that you have identified a problem that is important enough that customers would pay or a solution? If not, another round of customer discovery process is required. The outcome of this process will be an updated customer problem statement. Then the next would be, as you are verifying your business model, very important one, The final question to consider concerns that sustainability to your business model. Assess whether you have been able to verify the key elements of your business model, such as pricing, delivery, partners, desired mode of customer relationship, other key costs related to the customer acquisition. Are you missing any information needed to test the financial viability of your business model in addition to the business model canvas? The outcome of this phase will be a sales and revenue plan. Now, having answered all the questions, you will be able to decide, as now you have the first hand information. Now you are able to decide whether to advance to the customer validation stage or whether you need to recommence the customer discovery process or you want to completely hold. This you have to take a decision here before moving to the, because it is going to take a lot of time. So that's why you need to take some bold decision here. Now, three crucial points to customer discovery process. When you meet potential customers, you develop a better understanding of your target audience and build your client base at the same time. Two, customer discovery is more about breaking your assumptions, which you are going to make small crunches, rather than confirming them. It is very easy to fall into the confirmation bias, the trap where we tend to search for information that confirm our beliefs. So confirmation bias is very dangerous. It is not about selling your product or solution to the customer. It's about uncovering the information that allow you to design a suitable solution. So now let's move to customer validation. Excuse me, give me a minute. So as if you look at the customer validation, so always the value proposition comes before the business model. So that's where if you look at, we talked about the frictions, right? If you are able to identify some of the frictions, those are the opportunities where you are going to convert as opportunities, which will become your value propositions. So before you design your business model, you must develop your value proposition. The entire customer discovery process will help you build and validate your value proposition as well your target customer profile and product solution. Once this is done, you are ready to commence the customer validation process. Why undertake a customer validation process? Usually the objective of this customer validation process is to validate your sales process and the assumptions that underpin your business model. So usually if you look at the customer validation process, it comprises of 4 steps: preparing to sell, selling to the visionaries, determining your position, verify your validation process. So the first step, as I told you, preparing to sell. It's about using the insights generated in the customer discovery process, starting with your value proposition. Make sure you prepare any sales material required in order to present to the customers, including your website, probably a markup one, price list, product data sheet, and customer presentation. Then the step 2 would be in the customer validation, selling to the visionaries. The purpose of this phase is to land a handful of deals that are validated your value proposition and sales roadmap. At this stage, your target customers are those, probably sometimes you're going to do some blank calls or some, in other words, what we call is visionaries. It is important to bear in mind that just a few deals will provide sufficient validation at this stage. Regard any failures as an opportunity to learn more and improve your process. And the third, determining your positioning. The validation achieved in a phase 2 will provide you with information that can be used to develop your positioning statement. Test your positioning statement on industry insiders or leaders for comments and constructive criticism. Then verifying your validation process. As you know, this is the final phase of your customer validation, is designed to incorporate learning from the first 3 phases and how you examine the progress made so far. The main question is to answer at this point of time in the extent to which you achieved your objectives of customer validation. Maybe 3 of the important gauges would be: did you sell enough to validate your value proposition? 2, have you identified a profitable and sustainable sales and business model? Did you develop sufficient insight to scale your business? So based on this, you can take a decision now. The outcome of this would be a final decision, where essentially it is going to answer the sales roadmap, such as who are the stakeholders involved in the customer buying process, who typically plays the role of influencer and economic buyer, what are the stages and the length of the sales cycles. So usually if you take some time, sales cycle will take a lot of time. So that's it. I'm happy to answer if you have any questions. Maybe you can ask anything related to not only customer discovery or customer validation. You can ask any questions related to whatever you have doubt. Because I do remember here in the group, we have a lot of research scholars. Now it's your time. You can shoot me any questions. Yeah, Mokshananda, Arvind, Arun. Grishma, Guru, Kavya, Rajesh, Ramya, Sunil, Vantana. Anything, you can ask anything related to.
Sir, I am doing research on fast charging stations.
What's that? Come again?
Fast charging stations, sir, for electrical vehicle.
Okay.
Idea is about to convert petrol bunks into the electrical fast charging stations.
Okay.
Now I don't have much customers, sir. Now we are using. Now slowly we are adapting to electrical vehicles.
Correct.
So which type of problems I may face, sir? Which type of customers I have to take feedback?
See, you need to frame a set of personas. When I say personas, customer personas, now the person who is already using a four-wheeler or a two-wheeler, yes. Now if you see, compared to the four-wheeler, already two-wheelers, electric two-wheelers are there in the market.
Yes, sir.
Now potentially you can target few of the people. Either directly you can go to the showroom and you can directly deal with them, and probably you can pick 5 or 10. If they are not even giving the customer list or something, maybe you can wait there and quickly you can ask the persons. And maybe once you maintain some kind of a relationship, you can ask them to meet a coffee.
Yeah.
Ideally, at least you will get some 15-20 minutes, right? When you offer a coffee.
Mm.
So ideally, that would be a good point because in India, it's still evolving market.
Yes, sir. Actually, I already asked one of my uncle. He's having Tata Nexon small diesel petrol car. He has, sir. I said that why can't you can choose the electrical vehicle? He said that if I want to come Bangalore to Andhra, I need to travel 700 kilometers. You are telling that you can buy electrical car. Buy electrical car doesn't have that much range.
Correct.
Charging points are the really we need to install charging point for every 25 kilometers. Then only people will more interest on electrical vehicles, sir. And not only that, charging also very important, sir. Charging time also a very important factor in that.
Correct.
For example, we have a IC engine vehicles. We can fill a petrol or diesel within a no time. We can within 2 to 5 minutes we can fill the tank. But it is not possible with the electrical cars. If we are able to make a solution within 10 to 15 minutes, people will adapt to electrical. People will move from IC engines to electrical cars.
Correct. Maybe you can just try out ATI Motors, ATI Motors.
Active, sir.
No, ATI, ATI.
ATI. Okay.
Let me type you in the chat room here. ATI Motors. This is a startup from Bengaluru.
Yes, sir.
They are trying to build electric cargo vehicle.
Electrical turbo vehicle, sir.
Cargo.
Okay.
Cargo vehicle. So these guys started almost 3 years back. Now even the prototype is ready, and even they have recently, because one of the founder I know, so they were telling 6 months back, not even 6 months, almost 9 months back, I met this guy in one of the conference. Even now they have some commercial customers as well. Because when you're talking about this all charging, all this, because anyhow these guys are building electric cargo vehicles. It's not just a normal engine.
Yes, sir.
Maybe just if you are able to connect to the Saurabh, he will give you at least 2 or 3 introductions.
Yeah.
ATI Motors. It's a startup from Bengaluru.
Okay, so I will research, sir.
And one of the co-founder, if you see, he's a 14 years kid.
Really interesting, sir.
So his name is Sadhna, sir. Very, very interesting story. So just try to explore ATI Motors.
Okay, sir. Today I will research, sir. Today I will research on IT.
Yeah, maybe you don't get direct consumers, but indirectly the persons who are using four-wheelers, maybe you can start conversation with them. And realistically, if you want to get some feedback, the persons who are using electric two-wheelers, for time
Yes,
being,
sir.
at least you can start conversations with them so that you will get, at least you are able to have some kind of a markup and you are able to frame the right questions and you will get some insights.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Perfect. So that's an interesting area which you are seriously. Even if you look at, I think 1 month back in Hyderabad also, they they are planning to do some kind of units, and the Telangana government is encouraging more
Yes, sir. Yes,
for.
sir. KTS sir also already told.
Correct.
I also gone with sir interview.
Now just keep an eye on even the Hyderabad especially.
And also I also my place is Guntur, sir.
Oh, very good. So just watch this space. There is something called Sri City in the border of Andhra.
Sri City.
Sri City, yeah.
Uh,
I think next year there are some of the electric vehicle manufacturing companies are starting in Sri City.
Sri City. Okay.
So other way around, maybe just you need to interact, as now due to this pandemic, everything is virtual. Maybe you can attend, just search for meetup.com.
Yes, sir. .com. Please type in type box or chat
Yeah,
box.
yeah. Meetup.com. So very often people used to conduct some sessions virtually in person. It's not related technical, even related to the electric, cargo, all this kind of a stuff. The other way around, instead of you search people, where assume just if your user are going to connect you, so that is possible. You need to write down some interesting, which some curiosity has to be done. So you need to create some kind of a blocks.
Okay. In
Right?
meetup.com, sir.
Not in Meetup. Meetup, you will get some introductions when you are
Okay.
attending the online sessions or in person. Start writing blogs in LinkedIn.
Okay, sir.
So,
LinkedIn.
yeah, LinkedIn is the best way to connect people. You should have your own profile.
Yeah.
And once you start writing blogs, first start posting in the LinkedIn, and then parallelly you need to start posting in there are some forums related to this electric vehicles, the manufacturing of electric vehicles, all this stuff. There are a lot of forums, not only
Yeah.
in India, even if you look at Middle East perspective or US perspective. So interestingly, if you write down some blogs, people will comment, so that you can start even contacting with them. That would be a good way.
Mm. And also, sir, I'm doing research on renewable sources also, because if we replace all IC engines with electrical cars, and demand for sure definitely 2 times it will increase, sir. Now we are getting energy from only 30% of energy from renewable sources. Remaining 70% we are coming from coal only.
See, that's where
So
you know all these facts. Now, fundamentally, you need to educate a lot of people. So the best way
yeah.
to educate people is write as much as blogs and post them in a several forums.
Okay, sir.
See, this slowly, you should have some patience. Slowly, it should work, because I'll tell you, sometime back when I started the startup 2 years back, in the beginning, I written a blog which talks about AI, artificial intelligence uses in defense
Yes. Interesting, sir.
2 years back. And after that, after 6 or 7 months, one of the general manager from HAL, he saw that blog and he took my number and we started a conversation. So that's where I got one customer. He just asked me, all this information is seriously, is it possible, Mahesh? I said, yes, whatever I written, that is possible. So then
Yeah,
we
sir. Great.
started conversation with them, and we built one prototype for the HL NASEC. So you should
Very
have
great,
just
sir.
patient.
Yeah.
You should have some patience, because this is happened with me. So that's why I'm sharing my experience.
Yeah,
So
really great, sir.
not only local wise, even you will get a chance. It's depend upon the content what you're writing on the blog.
Yeah.
Maybe if you get some time, just see my blogs in LinkedIn. So when somebody is reading, you have to create some curiosity, right? Even
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Medium is the good website. Even you can write down that, medium.com.
Yeah. Register, sir. Medium now. Yes.
So you'll get international attraction as well. That's good. All the best for you.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, any other questions?
Sir, hi sir. This is Guru PhD. Is it possible to get AI in agriculture?
Guru, your voice is flickering. Come again.
Sir, I am doing PhD in industrial engineering, sir.
Industrial engineering.
Is it
Okay.
possible to get AI in? Yes, sir. Is it possible to get AI in agriculture?
Of
Can we
course, already people are
adopt?
using, especially if you look at some of the Israel startups, you just imagine, you just take a photo of the crop, and once you upload in their product, it will give you what is the crop, what is the problem with the crop, everything. So people are already started using
Yes, sir.
agriculture. Let me give you some of the use cases for agriculture. You said agriculture, right? Just give me a
Yes, sir.
moment. One moment, Guru. I'm just
Yes, sir.
pulling the blog for you. Sometime back, I written 2 blogs on this agriculture. Yeah, like this. If you go to my LinkedIn articles, see 5 key questions to ask before starting a project. Like this, I used to write normally. Mm, I think almost 2 years back I written. Yeah, here you see. Yeah, use cases in energy and oil and gas, finance and insurance. Yeah, this one I was talking applied AI and IoT in defense. This one blog has given introduction to HAL for me. Yeah, there you go.
Then I can go through it.
So these are the 3 use cases. How you can use AI in agriculture.
Yes,
There
sir.
should be one more. Aviation, banking, retail. Yeah, here you have. So compared to other startups, if you look at Israel startups, they are doing pretty good in agriculture space. Damn good, they're doing. Well, a few of the startups from India also, they are doing pretty good in agriculture.
Sir. My aim is to reduce the human dependent work system, and then make use of machines, more kind of machines to reduce labor dependent. Further, I'm
See, that way, if you
going
look
through.
at
I have an idea.
in India, it is not going to replace farmers, but in US, yes, might be a 60 to 70% of farmers will be replaced using AI in USA, not in India.
Yes, sir.
India, I don't think so that will happen like that. Now just imagine, we know when people are using tractors for digging their lands. Now tell me, what is the percentage of farmers using tractors or machines to dig their soil? Still, people are comfortable doing it manually, right? Using that bullock cart, with 2 cows in front. Still, we are using traditional.
Yes, sir.
That will take a lot of time in India,
But
especially.
for some, yes, sir. But for some other activity for tractors are more sir, for other purpose, for making load, uh, and then the movement of goods they are using tractors are more, sir, compared to
Correct.
less kind of people are using bullock carts, sir. And now it was decreasing, I think.
Correct.
uh, they are
Correct.
following, but not full, but not in uh, full form, sir. Now they are converting from bullock carts to tractors. Most of them
Correct.
are, at least 98% of them
No,
are
that's
using
where
tractors, and
the
then for
technology adoption will take a lot of time in India, especially when you're talking about agriculture. It is going to take a lot of time, not that early. Perfect. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, can I get some information on artificial intelligence in forecasting?
Forecasting, what forecasting? Is it related to weather?
Specifically power, wind speed, but actually it is forecasting. It is useful in all sectors, from
Correct.
finance to healthcare to anything. But artificial intelligence, how far it has got into this sector?
See, I tell you, if you say forecasting instead of forecasting, better word is a prediction. Now, let's say you have a data about at least 10 years of data specific to one the windmill or something. Now, using the 10 years of data, we can predict next 10 years how this windmill is going to perform, the asset health, the breakage, the breakdown, everything can be done. So one of the big challenge in artificial intelligence is data. As you get, because we'll take the data and we are going to build the model. When we are training the model, we basically follow at least 60% of data would be used for testing and 40% for the development, let's say in that case. So this is where the actual problem is. Now, majority of the predictions, if you look at, as much as data is available, people are using that. No, let me give you one example. In the beginning, we talked about Amazon example. So as Amazon has collected huge amount of data in India, using that, they are able to predict. So maybe still this model is not started in India. They started in one of the state in US. Very essentially, they'll start in India soon. Now, as they have a huge data about the consumer, they are able to predict what is the buying pattern of a typical consumer. So this is what the problem in AI is. So as much as you have some data, you are able to predict. Sometime back, we did one project for one of the customer in US, which is a manufacturing industry. In one plant, they have around 12 different machines. We took 3 years of data of the 12 machines, and we are able to predict next 2 years how this breakdown looks like, which mission on which date it will break down, and asset performance. So we did almost this project 1.5 years back. And if I look at this last 1 year prediction, it was almost 95 to 97% accuracy. That is what recently one of my old customer has just given me confirmation. We took only 3 years of data.
Okay.
And we are able to predict how that breakdown, the machine breakdown looks like.
Okay.
And in the testing, it's 1 year is over now, and the results are almost 95 to 97% accuracy. Irrespective of the any industry, if you have the data, we can build the model and we can predict it.
Okay, sir, I got it.
Perfect, guys. Any other questions? So thanks for your time. Ashok, thanks a lot for the invite. And so that's it from my side. It was, I usually prefer to take these kind of sessions in person, but due to this pandemic, we don't have other option. Maybe once we go back to a normal life, surely someday I'll visit to you persons and I'll interact in person.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable session for last 2 hours. Thank you, participants, for being part of this session. So kindly fill the feedback form, which I already shared in the chat room. So if you have any doubts, please ask. Others, we can let him close.
Thanks a lot, guys. And Saravanan, please convey my thanks to your CEO,
Yes,
Mr. Kumar, as well.
yes, you should.
So thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much, sir.
Thanks for the time, guys, and have a nice day and all the best for your research. So stop not till you get enough. So good luck.
Bye. Bye.